All right. Our guest on the Sons of the Montezuma podcast hails from Inglewood, California. A remarkable talent in shot blocking, his team's amassed 109 victories during his 4 years on the Mesa, and he is tied for the second most conference victories at 55. A three-time regular season Mountain West Conference champion, he was also a key member of the 13-14 Sweet 16 team that made history by handing Kansas their first non-conference home loss to start a calendar year since JFK's presidency. In the postseason, his teams boasted a 4-3 record in the NCAA and a 3-1 record in the NIT, notably reaching the semifinals in the 15-16 NIT tournament. His team was also the 13-14 Wooden Legacy champions. He holds the single-game blocks record with 7 against West Virginia in 2015 and occupies 4 of the top 10 spots in season blocks, including first place with 91 in 2015. He set the freshman record with 51 blocks in 2013. With an impressive 303 blocks, he stands as the all-time blocks leader in school history. He is second in most games played with 144, and his love for shot blocking is evident as he holds the Mountain West record of 6 blocks in a game against Colorado State on Valentine's Day in 2015. We are honored to welcome to the podcast Mr. Skylar Spencer.
Thank y'all for having me. Quite a resume that guy has.
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. Yeah, we appreciate it, man. It's good to talk to you. We love watching you play ball, man. You know, it was fun, and getting a chance to talk to you is even more special. So we appreciate the time.
No problem. Happy to be here and chop it up with y'all.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
So Sky, tell me, you are in Italy right now. We didn't want to do this live just for the risk of maybe the connection not being that strong, but tell us exactly where you are at.
I'm in Varese, Italy.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Varese. It's like 45 minutes from Milan.
How do you say it? Was it ciao? Is it ciao in Italy?
Ciao.
Say it
Ciao.
Ciao, okay.
How you say hello, Engelbar.
All right.
Easy.
Easy peasy, yeah.
I was doing a little research. What do they call it? The Garden City or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I forgot why. I can't give you the fun fact on that, but I think I probably got something to do with gardens. But yeah, it's a smaller city. It's like 8,000 people here. It's a cool place. I like it. I enjoy it. It's like 20 minutes from Switzerland. You can see the Swiss Alps from my bedroom window. So that's real cool. So it's real nice in between the mountains, lakes, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I know that soccer is really huge in Italy. That's probably like the most popular sport. I mean, across Europe, pretty much across the globe. But how popular is basketball in Italy?
It's super popular. I think I don't want to say it's number one comparing against soccer because I mean soccer is like everywhere, but it's really up there. Every team has a lot of fans, big heavy support. Everybody's passionate, so this is definitely a lot of basketball in this country.
That's awesome. Like how many people come to your games?
Our games, I think our arena maybe holds a little over 4,000, and they're always sold out. So every game's a packed house, even when I go on the road. So
it's amazing. That's half your town.
Yeah, there's no light nights here for sure.
What's the atmosphere like over there with basketball compared to the States?
It's intense. You know, a lot of the fans here are very passionate. Basketball has a strong tradition. You know, everybody excited about the games, and they come out and go crazy, and you know, it's almost life or death every game. It's kind of what it feels like. So it's a lot of intensity in every game for sure, but it's also a lot of fun.
So you're playing it with Pallacanestro, is that right? Pallacanestro Varese?
Pallacanestro Varese. Pallacanestro is how you say a basketball team in Italian. So
okay. So that's the top league though in Italy, because I know they have like different leagues.
Yeah, this is the Serie A league, or Serie A for English, and then there's the A2 league under here, which is also pretty good. But yeah, this is the top league.
That's awesome.
What year are you in there with Varese?
This is my first year with the team. It's my second year in Italy, or kind of in my second half of the season because I spent the first half in Mexico.
So how does that journey work for you going from, do you guys, I noticed, like, I feel like when you play internationally, it's like a 1 year, you seem to be, guys be jumping around every year or so to different places and stuff like that. Is that normal for 1 year contracts, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's pretty normal to get a 1 year contract. Even when you sign, like a lot of guys might sign a 2 year contract, but there's nothing really guaranteed overseas. So it's not like the NBA. You sign for X amount of years, you're set for those years. So normally you could sign a 2 year, and then in the summer you guys can negotiate, or they can let you go, or something could happen. So it's pretty normal for people to just sign 1 year.
You've been quite the world traveler. I mean, your basketball career has spanned like how many different continents, right? Like you're talking Mexico. I think you're in it. Well, you're in Italy now. Weren't you in like Mongolia or something?
No, I have been to a lot of places. I started off in Malaysia my rookie year, and then when I ended up in Europe, I bounced around everywhere. Romania, Lithuania, Finland. A couple years before this, I was in Kazakhstan. Before that, Belgium. So I've been almost everywhere. A lot of experience for sure.
Came across your blog that you got going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I found it very interesting, man. It was very insightful, to be able to hear directly from you. Mm-hmm. And so that connection with Aztec Nation, this is always going to be there. But now that you're in the professional ranks, it's like, it's got to be completely different every year, going to a different location. What inspired you with this blog? I'm seeing, which I encourage everybody to go check that out. Footprints, it's called, right?
Yeah, Footprints blog. I mean, for me personally, I always enjoyed writing. I never really did it on my own though. And I just kind of got the inspiration through experience, playing all these years overseas. I go through so much, so many crazy things that you could like put in a movie. And I talk to my other peers that are also in this world, and they're also going through a bunch of crazy stuff. And I was just kind of looking around like, man, like, why is nobody talking about this? We go through so much, but I feel like it kind of gets swept under the rug, being on the other side of the world. And, a lot of people don't really ask us these questions anymore. A lot of our interviews with our teams overseas are pretty basic, asking about the team. Nobody really cares about how we're feeling and stuff like that. So, I just wanted to be able to take control of that and, have the opportunity to create my own platform where I could speak my mind, and my other peers as well could do the same. So, it's been going pretty well. And, I'm excited for the progress of it, and, I'm really happy with the results.
Well, I love this. It's super interesting to me because obviously, we'll get into the Aztec Nation stuff, your years on the Mesa and all that good stuff. But where you are now, I mean, it's so fascinating to me because, like, I'm a kid of the 80s, right? I was born in the 80s, kid of the 90s. And it was like in 92 when the original Dream Team formed, mm-hmm. right? That just seemed to be that launching point where really international basketball, the whole world got to see these great stars up close. And it just set off like this boom, right? The game grew. And now, I mean, fast forward, geez, how many years now? I mean, it's an international game. There's so many ball players all throughout the world, but these opportunities for guys like yourself to play overseas and experience a whole new culture. I mean, it's fascinating to me. And like you said, those stories that people don't really, they're hearing a lot of these stories come into the States, and we're so hyper-focused in the States, but
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a whole another world outside of America, which, a lot of us are ignorant to, but it's not our fault. You grow up learning about the NBA, and all you know is the NBA. So why would you know about Varese, Italy? Unless somebody exposes it to you. So yeah, there's a lot of different paths a lot of guys can take overseas, and a lot of different opportunities. So, I wanted to give guys the opportunity to speak on that.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Is it anything like what did I see? I saw Equalizer 3 the other day. Dude. That movie was awesome, bro. He goes to Italy. He's like this little town in Italy, defending the town. That's how I envision Skyler just blocking shots out there, just defending the town of Varese.
Yeah, the team is definitely on my back right now. You know, if I don't play well, they're gonna be on my back in a not so good way. So yeah, every night I'm out there fighting for my life.
So tell us a little bit about your growth, though. Sorry to cut you off, Mike. I want to hear a little bit about your growth as a player, though, because as Aztecs, we know the shot blocking, we know the rebounds, all the games played, all the games won. But your game really has grown out there overseas, and like you said, they're depending on you to be much more of a scorer. Share with us some of these stories, out there playing.
Yep.
I mean, my game just kind of naturally grew with opportunity. At State, I kind of had a specific role and kind of stayed in that role throughout my 4 years. For example, my first team I went to in Malaysia, my team wasn't going to have a chance to win unless, I scored 15 to 20 points. So, I had some things in my skill set already that I didn't get to show before, and I had things I had to work on as well. So I kept growing with opportunities in the game, and even now, my game's still growing. And everywhere I go for different teams, there's different roles and expectations that they want from me. So, some places I go to, I have to be more of a scorer. Other places, I'm kind of back in my college role, just, dunking and blocking. So it's kind of a case-to-case thing with me.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about, like the differentiations between teams and how you play and stuff. But like when you kind of circling back to the blog with the stories you were talking about, are you able to go into a few stories, kind of like what you're saying, that individually and what you're hearing from other players that you have the blog with, that you talk about, and things like that we might not hear? Or should we just read the blog?
I think I shared a personal story. Some of the guys, they kind of keep it, they get deep, but they don't really expose anything. Like I had one of my earlier stories when, I was talking about how like I found out that I loved the game was kind of like at one of my lowest points a few years in my career. I was in between teams. I had left one team to go to another team, but the previous team blocked my transfer. So I only had the choice to go back to the other team or to go home. And I was trying to fight that. And I remember just being on the steps on Christmas morning in a country that didn't even celebrate Christmas. And, I'm talking to my family on the phone, and, I'm crying. And, it was a moment that would break a lot of people down. And for me, that was like a moment where I was like, I really love this, because I still have inspiration and motivation to keep going. So, you can find stuff like that in the blog, and there's a lot of stories like that a lot of guys like us deal with.
Okay, interesting.
I was reading another instance, I believe you listed in an article, where it was like you wanted to go home during a break because the team, I guess there was some national team stuff going on, so there was a break in the action. You wanted to go home, and so you did, and the team pretty much let you go right when you went home. It was kind of like that was their opportunity to cut ties, Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of situations like that where a team is going to figure out a way to save every dollar they can. So they figured out a way to let me do something, thinking that I've won the argument and fighting for going home, and the whole time they're saving money on a plane ticket to send me home. So teams could almost do whatever they want sometimes. If you don't fight back, or if you're not fortunate enough to have the resources to fight back.
Yeah, no, that's pretty important, I think, for a lot of young players, to hear these stories, to kind of see, okay, what's really going on inside of the mind and in the heart of a player, that after college, college is such a different, I can imagine such a different situation or environment that you're in, and then it's like, okay, time to go into business, side of hoops.
Yeah, it's definitely a business. You can still have fun, you can still enjoy it. There's a lot of good things, but once money's involved, when there's contracts in it, then everybody's serious. So if you don't hold up your end of the bargain or this or that, then you can find yourself without a job very quickly.
What is the best thing that's come about playing overseas, that from a growth standpoint, or kind of growing up? Obviously, you're still 29. but like what is the thing that you didn't realize that came about? You're like, wow, this is pretty cool that you've been through since you've been traveling overseas and playing ball.
I guess just the experience for me. Playing basketball is great, but being able to live 8-9 months in a different country and being exposed to a whole different type of culture and being able to shift your perspective on things, for me, that's priceless. It's not like America is huge, so it takes 4 hours to fly from California to New York, but like I said, I live 20 minutes from Switzerland, so I could get a whole new experience with just a 20-minute drive. So just being able to take advantage of that and explore around the world, literally, it's that's priceless. So that's something that I've grown to appreciate and I try to take advantage of for sure.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that. I've only been to Germany, but I mean, it's just I remember we were sitting at Heidelberg Castle and there was a bench that was older than America. So the
Wow.
history over there is crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's just it's incredible, and get a chance to do that. Obviously you don't have kids yet, I don't think, but getting a chance to do that.
I do have a son. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Big old 5-year-old.
Yeah. My little girl's 6, but just to get the chance to do all that is pretty cool, man. I mean, it's are they, if you don't mind me asking, is the family over there with you, or are they still back here?
Yeah. I have my wife and my son out here with me. They've been out overseas with me for maybe the last 4 or 5 years, I think. So they're pretty experienced with this lifestyle too.
So as a dad, obviously we both have kids about the same age. How when you see your little boy getting to get these experiences, obviously they don't understand what's going on at 5 or 6 years old, right? They just want to go to the park and play in the water, So, but when you get to see them enjoy that stuff and take them to places that they may not get back to, obviously when y'all move back to the States, what's that like as a father, seeing that in your son and seeing that stuff, the opportunities he gets because of the basketball you get to play over there?
It's really cool. It's something that I always kind of sit back every once in a while and I'll be like, man, this is crazy. I have my son over here in Italy. He's been all over the world. He's got more stamps on his passport than most adults back home. But like you said, like he doesn't really grasp what's going on. He just knows that he's overseas. He's starting to realize about this life that we live in, but it's just a real cool moment that I'm grateful for, that I'm able to share this experience with my family.
That's awesome.
Kobe Bryant grew up in Italy with his dad, played in Italy, and so he got that experience as a young child. And so your son may be the next Kobe. You don't know. I mean, you could be the Jelly Bean Bryant of the family.
He might be. I mean, he's definitely growing with the game. He's always coming on the court after the games, and he's embraced by the fans and the communities, and he also really enjoys soccer as well. So he's a typical European baby right now.
Nice.
Are there any like preconceived notions that you had that now have kind of been changed due to your travels and being able to live abroad and everything, kind of encapsulating everything that you've been through in your journey out here? Like, you talk about living outside of America.
I mean, I used to think America was just like the greatest country on earth. It's not the worst for sure, but we obviously, America has a lot of issues, but it's not that hard to live outside of America. It's not. I used to think if you're living anywhere else, then you're living below the line. It's America number one, everything else is last place. But I found myself enjoying living in Europe, and I could possibly envision myself living here for the rest of my life. And I've just grown to appreciate the culture, and you can find things in Europe that are similar to America with the lifestyle, but with a different twist that's easy to adapt to. So some places really don't have that big of a culture shock that you just couldn't make work for you. So that's one of the cool things that I've been able to experience and grow with.
How does the pizza compare in the U.S. to Italy?
I actually get killed for this all the time because I'm not a big fan of Italian pizza. it's more homemade style, like made in the oven. The crust is bigger, a little burnt. And America being America, they have all these different type of flavored pizzas, all types of chicken, barbecue, all of this crazy stuff that you won't find over here. It's pretty simple. But I personally enjoy American pizza more than Italian.
Do you have to put more ketchup on your Italian pizza than your American
I
pizza?
do. I have to make it work. I put my little cheese on there, my little ketchup. That part's not changing. No matter where I'm at in the world, I got my ketchup bottle right over there, fresh packed.
Wait, you put ketchup on pizza?
Absolutely.
I get killed for
that, but I'll die on that hill.
Well, let's get into that, because Fiend makes his own pizza, which is incredible, by the way. But when did that start? Is that kind of, you put ketchup on kind of everything, or?
I really don't remember when it started. I don't remember, but I've just been doing it as long as I remember. Since I was a young kid, I put ketchup on my eggs. So ketchup is like one of my top favorite condiments to add on it, and just when I got older, I fell in love with it more. So I don't know. So, I love it.
What is the ketchup? Does it taste different than over here, or is it similar, or is it?
They have European ketchup that's different. I get the Heinz ketchup, so it's the same. They actually the ketchup tastes different because there's actually there's food regulations that are different in America than there are out here. So in America, a lot of like the ketchup is a lot sweeter because we're allowed to put different chemicals in there that you can't put in Europe. So that was an interesting thing that I learned.
So which one do you like better? Which one?
American.
American.
Yeah, I like the sweet taste.
Are you put it on top of the pizza? You dip it, or both, or?
I do both.
Okay.
I do both. Yeah. Sometimes I get some ranch and then I mix it with the ranch.
Take that, Europe. Skylar likes American ketchup. Top three condiments: ketchup, ranch,
hot sauce.
Okay. All right. What are we working with? Tabasco? What are we working with?
Louisiana.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Interesting.
I gotta bring that the hot sauce.
I was gonna say that ketchup is your version of Frank's Red Hot sauce because you put it on everything.
Frank's Red Hot sauce is good too. That probably goes in my top 10.
So Skylar, of all the places that you've been in, your professional basketball career, what has been your favorite place?
My favorite, just in terms of like the city?
City, like just the vibe, the culture, the people.
Probably last year I was in Italy. I was in Trieste. It's like north. It's like the northeast of Italy, kind of on the border. There, it was like a great first time Italian experience. The city was on the ocean. Literally, the ocean was on the corner of my house. I lived like in the downtown area. It was like a tourist area, so always real busy, lots of people, and it was just great views, great vibes. The city had about 200,000 people, so it wasn't really big, but it was big enough. It was a great basketball experience there. So, and it was a lot of love within the town. So that was a real good experience for me, and I really enjoyed being there.
Yeah, those towns on the Mediterranean are amazing.
Yeah,
I've been to Italy. It's awesome.
My son went to school. His school was like on top of a hill, and like every morning when you're coming up and down that hill, you get a view of the ocean and the whole city, and it looked like a painting. It was real nice to see that every day.
Awesome. All right, all this Euro talk. I don't know if Vic and Charles are too happy about hearing all this, living in Europe forever talk. I don't know about all this. How do you think that's going to sit with them?
Yeah, he wouldn't be too happy. But they both love everything that I'm doing right now. They don't hesitate to remind me. So they're love seeing me happy.
Beautiful, beautiful. I've only had the chance to meet Charles, and of course we're talking about Skylar's in-laws at the games, and just a great meeting. Of course, there's a lot of info known about your younger days with your pops. What was, as the story goes, duct taping your arm during those days of training and making you. Are you ambidextrous? Is that what it is?
I am ambidextrous. I don't think it stemmed from that story. That was a crazy story. Like I don't even know why we wrote an article on that, but yeah, I am ambidextrous. But now I do most with my right, shoot with my right, draw with my right. But I like to dunk and dribble with my left. So I guess I still have a little bit of the left hand tendencies in me.
So let's get into some of those earlier days, Sky, because I remember you as a freshman, and the amount of minutes that you got as a freshman was crazy exciting for us to see. All the blocks. Of course, as we know, you are the all-time leading block leader in Aztec history. And then, of course, your sophomore year, just an unbelievable season that was, man. I mean, tell us a little bit about some of those experiences, because I mean, you set the single season school record with 89 blocks in your sophomore year. Tell us about your recruiting. How did you come to San Diego State? What was that like, your recruitment?
I got recruited by Tony Bland. It was funny. I remember the first time I heard about San Diego State, where I was in my junior year and at an AAU tournament, and Jason Hart was our coach, and he was asking me about what schools I was interested in, and he asked about San Diego State, and I had never heard about San Diego State, so I thought he was trying to be funny, and then he was trying to plug me in with him, and then eventually, I started talking to Tony Bland a little bit more, and that's when I learned about the crazy year that they had there. I'm like, oh, this school is legit. Like, I don't know why I was acting like I didn't want to go here. And I did my unofficial visit, and from the unofficial, I was pretty sure that's where I wanted to go, but I was just gonna wait it out and see. And then I had my official. The official was perfect. I had a great time, and after that, I knew it was set in stone. I didn't take any other officials. I took a handful of unofficials, but yeah, that was the only official visit that I took, and I was signed, sealed, and delivered after that.
Was there a moment the switch flipped and you said, "I'm going here. I'm made to be an Aztec"?
It was kind of in the unofficial. I don't know what it was. It was a beautiful San Diego day. I think that was my first time really in San Diego, to my memory. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't really a lot going on campus, but they were showing me the highlight tapes, and I see Kawhi, Malcolm, and Billy catching lives, running up and down the court, and I'm like, oh, this is my style of game. This is where I want to go. And then like I said, they just had that crazy year with Sweet 16, and I was, I came from a winning program in high school, so to me, it really attracted me that they were winners and they were on the rise. So I was like, I want to do this one day. So it was just kind of a perfect culture fit for me.
Well, we're glad you made that decision, man. We really enjoyed watching you play ball. So what was like? Because I was at Kansas. I went to the game in Kansas, which was crazy to me. It was surreal. I was actually on the flight with you guys on the way out there. What do you remember about that game? Was that one of the? I mean, it's got to be one. To me, it was one of the most memorable games, outside of that New Mexico game with the 1-3-1, right? Yeah. So what was that like, going there, playing there, the mystique? I remember it was snowing. We had that little hotel with a little pizza joint down below. It was like the old library. Yeah. It was like pretty much only the Aztec people were there. What do you remember about that? What kind of memories you have from that game and that trip?
I mean, coming into the game, I kind of felt like nobody outside of our locker room thought that we had a chance to win. We were good, but it was at that point in the season where we were still proving to everybody how good we were. And, we're hearing all about the record and they won this many games and that. So it was, and just the energy that I was feeling as a player, you kind of feel the energy from everybody. If you go into a game and people think you really have a chance. So when I was feeling that, it was kind of no pressure for us because if we win, great. If we lose, we were supposed to lose anyway. So I was excited coming into the game. I love playing on big stages, love playing against top teams, big names. So it was just another opportunity to prove myself. I didn't know I was going to have the game that I was going to have, but I honestly come into every game expecting to have that kind of game. So everything just laid out perfectly for me in that moment.
What was the feeling like after the game? Because I remember everybody, like everybody could go on the court. It was kind of crazy to me where everybody can just kind of go on the court and just hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what was that like? What was the locker room like after that?
We at that moment we kind of felt untouchable. I felt like we needed a big statement to really prove ourselves, and that was it. We took down a really good team with all the odds set against us, and we did it. We did it in a dominant fashion. It wasn't like it came down to a game winner or we came back down from 20 or something. From start to finish, we showed that we were the better team. And as you can see from the rest of the season, it really wasn't a fluke. So, I think that we already had confidence, but that kind of solidified it for us. And, we were able to ride that wave out.
I'm going to throw out a stat line here, Skyler. Joel Embiid, 12 points. Skylar Spencer, 13 points. Joel Embiid, 5 blocks. Skylar Spencer, 6 blocks. So you were better than Joel Embiid that day.
Yeah, I had my little moment. I guess he got the last laugh in the end, NBA player, MVP guy or whatever. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice to have that moment. And I don't think prior to that game I was aware who he was. I think I knew that he was one of the up next guys, but I wasn't really familiar with how he played. But I remember just in certain little plays he did, I'm like, oh, like this guy, he's pretty good once he gets it all together. So I think my scouting report on that was pretty accurate.
I think one of the most impressive things about your game, Sky, is that, not being a 7-footer and getting all these blocks, being that presence out there on the court and knowing you have to go, what was it, against New Mexico State? That giant, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Alex Kirk.
Oh, you thinking New Mexico? Yeah.
New Mexico State. I can't remember his name. That was a real giant. Yeah, I think I got a block on him.
Simbular,
yeah. Simbular, yeah, monster.
7'5".
Yeah, that was almost funny playing against him.
Back in that year, honestly, I did not even look up anything about New Mexico State going into that game, and then surprise, you see this dude on the court. I'm like, oh man, Skylar's gonna have his hands full.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember a lot about that game. I just remember him being 8 feet tall, and I don't think he was a real problem in that game. I know there were some times he was going to get some rebounds and score just because he was huge, so he just had the height advantage. But it worked out for us at the end.
So that New Mexico game, the 1-3-1 game.
Yeah.
Dwayne said that it was his idea to do 1-3-1. Can you confirm or deny that? We've had multiple, one way or the other. Is that truth or is that?
I really don't remember. It could have been. I remember when we were down. Things were looking ugly. The idea came out of somewhere. I'm guessing it came from Poli, like you said. And what happened. It was a crazy game. Probably one of the best games in state history for sure.
So when that happened, was Fish kind of like, whatever, let's try it, or what was he like? Because
the energy was like that, yeah. Because I think prior to that, we had only did it once or twice, maybe for a few possessions. So I think it was just like, man, we were down 15. It was like, might as well, whatever we're doing now is not working. So it either gets better or it can't get any worse. I honestly thought we were going to lose that game. We should have beat that team, but they were such a good team, and we just couldn't get anything going for us. And once you get down 15 against a team like that, and when things not going your way, I just thought, man, we're just gonna chalk this up as an L and keep it moving. And then bit by bit, it got a little closer and closer. And it was amazing to me. Like I couldn't believe it was happening, watching it in real time.
Dude, yeah, bro, I'll tell you what, that first half I was like, shit, this is, and then it just, I've never, like, I've been to a lot of the games and stuff, but that game was something else, man. Like, that was just the energy, and just, you could see the energy ramping up in the arena. But it was like, to me, that is my favorite game in Aztec history that I've attended. The Kansas game was great, but it was surreal. We went, I'm like, hey, I want to see Kansas. But that New Mexico game at home to win the conference, and what you guys did to come back through adversity and fight, that's my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Of any of the games.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of my favorites for sure. I mean, it's everybody's dream. It's a player's dream to come back from like that and, have all the fans rush the court, and, clinch the league title and fight hard and really earn that victory. And I know it's a fan's dream to have your team down like that and feel like you're down and out, and they come back and turn it around like that, and able to celebrate with us. So it was just a dream all around. So that was definitely one of the greatest games I've ever been a part of.
Do you miss playing at Viejas?
I do. Even I kind of took it for granted, because it took me up until I played in Italy. I wasn't playing when I was playing professionally, I wasn't playing in packed houses for a very long time. Maybe 5-6 years I wasn't playing in packed houses. Maybe a few thousand at the game, less, maybe a few hundred at some games. So playing in front of 12,000 every night, sold out. That's almost unreal. Here, like I said, we had 4,000 last year. My gym was like 5,000-6,000, and packed gym like that. It was still like it was crazy, but it still doesn't compare to playing with 12,000 fans. So that's something that I miss for sure. Just having that energy, having everybody on your side, and the way Viejas is shaped, and everybody on top of you, everybody going crazy in a big moment of the game. I miss that for sure.
To dig in a little bit more with me on that, because right now we're looking at a Mountain West Conference, and I don't really know how much you get to pay attention at all. The time difference is so different. You're so immersed in your profession right now. So like in the Mountain West Conference, I mean, it's so competitive this year. And any thoughts on seeing the program now? I know you didn't play directly for Brian Dutcher when he was the head coach, but obviously you know him very well. Any thoughts on where the program is now and seeing it before your eyes?
It's amazing, but it's also no surprise. Every year, I feel like the program gets better and better. Our expectations get higher and higher, and we reached almost the ultimate expectation last year. It was crazy how it happened, but that's kind of how March works. Sometimes you just need a little magic, a little extra shot. So, it doesn't really matter how we got there. Last year was probably my proudest year, being an Aztec alumni, just seeing all the hard work that everybody put in to get to this moment. I felt like, and everybody, a lot of the ex-players agreed, we just all felt like we were all in there in that moment. Like we all played a part to get to that moment. And, I remember being up in Italy till I had a game the next day, and I was up at 3 a.m. watching the game. I'm just so excited. Like when Lamont hit that shot, I remember running around my living room. I slipped and fell. I was trying to wake up my son. He got school in the morning. I was just so excited. So I'm real proud of what Dutcher's done with the program. And
I think Mike can relate, not waking up the kids watching the games and stuff.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough when you're watching a game like that.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, have you played against any former Aztecs over there in your travels?
I played against Xavier Thames.
You got some bragging rights.
Yeah. I played against him in 2021, the year after COVID. I beat him in a game when we played. And I played against Deshaun Stevens a couple times, a few years apart. He was in Italy last year. I played him last year. He beat me. I haven't beat him yet. So yeah, he's got that advantage of me. But I think those are. I might be missing somebody, but I know for sure I played against those two guys. Oh, also I played against Angelo Cho the same year that I played X. I beat him. So yeah, I'm about half and half.
All right.
Well, any other creations, man? Any other creations you feel you have in the works? I mean, I know the blog, Footprints blog. I mean, things that you feel could come out of you as a result of your basketball career and things that visionary things you see of yourself.
I'm not really sure at this point. I do know that I want to take the blog to the next level, whatever the next level is. I feel like I have a really good thing going. It's not always as consistent as I want to be, but it's kind of tough juggling my own life and trying to get this going and relying on other guys that are doing the same thing that I'm doing to sit down and really focus and finish something up. So I do want to invest a lot of my time in this, and I want to just keep this thing going in terms of me playing as long as possible, and see what cooks up after that for sure.
Yeah, I know there's an audience for that too, because there's a lot of, you're an Aztec for life, right? So there's a lot of Aztec fans that are, still interested. They're interested in what the Aztecs who have graduated and are, have moved on to professional basketball, what they're doing, and getting to know like a little bit more about their travels and stuff, and so there's definitely an audience there, not just worldwide, from a global basketball perspective, but also from the inner circle with Aztec Nation too.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the inspirations behind it, because I mean, like you guys keep up with me and other ex-Aztecs, but you don't really know what's going on, and it's not your fault. I mean, unless you're Googling and trying to search out what we're doing every single day, but you guys will focus on the current players and other stuff that's going on. So, it's easy to graduate and to kind of move on and kind of get lost bouncing from team to team, fan base to fan base, and you just kind of get stuck in emotion, and a lot of people kind of forget about you, even if they're keeping up with you. They don't really know what's going on. So, this is an opportunity for guys to speak their mind and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I've been going through. And, I hope you appreciate these words pretty much. So yeah, I want to give that platform to as many people as possible.
Very cool. Yeah, the stats are more available. Like we can get on YouTube and watch, your performances, recap videos, almost the full game videos sometimes on YouTube. So that's really cool. But it's still not giving exactly the day in what's going on with you as a player, as a family man, all that good stuff. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, these are great. I'm reading the one about Deshaun Stevens wrote about the I'm a failure.
Yeah,
just kind of. I think there. And I think there's a stigma as fans. Obviously, we're just fans, right? I mean, but we love catching up with you guys because we kind of grew up with y'all. You know what I mean? With the program, and there's a tendency, hey, he's just a basketball player. I've never understood the hate. Just dribble. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got an opinion about everything. Why? Just because they play sports, that doesn't. The whole LeBron thing about you just dribble the basketball.
Exactly, yeah.
I thought that was dumb. It's like he has a platform to say what he wants to say. Right, wrong, or indifferent, however you agree with it or not, but like that's his right. So, to see the human aspect of, you see the guys on TV, you just see them playing ball. It's sometimes you forget, hey, they got lives too. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of human nature, right? And so that's why I love to talk to y'all and get back in touch with you guys, because we love you guys, man. Like you're our guys. Everybody, college basketball to me is my favorite, just because with that, it's, to connect with you guys and hear that, you guys play basketball for a living. You know what I mean? You're not, to me, you're a father, your husband, all that stuff. So I love hearing about that stuff because it's the human nature of who you guys are and not just what you do.
Yeah. That's really important what you're saying. We are human. We basketball players, businessmen, all of that. But at the end of the day, we're all human and we all go through different things, different emotions, and we all have our own unique experiences and some similar. So I think it's very important to be able to pay attention to the human aspect of us, and give us chances to speak our minds and share how we feel on basketball, but just other things in life. And a lot of guys don't get that opportunity, and they just kind of get viewed as basketball players for the rest of their lives, and are never able to share anything deeper than that.
Yeah.
Day one hustler on the court. You never had to question Skylar's hustle, his determination, his energy he brought to the court, to the game. Never, never, never. And I think that's a big reason why I think Aztec Nation will always see you and regard you as a favorite, man, as a fan favorite. Okay, talking about getting to know you a little bit before we let you go. What is Skylar listening to these days? What's in your ears? You've been all over the world. Is it all the same song as what did who say that it's all the same song? No. What are you listening to these days, man?
Not too crazy. Obviously like Drake. Everybody's still listening to Drake.
Still listening to Drake.
Yeah.
He's been in the game for a minute now.
You can't get rid of Drake. I like Smino, Toby Lou. That's some stuff some people could look up. But yeah, it's still the same. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been exposed to any music that I really like. Okay. So I'm still keeping it American with my music.
I know. I can't even imagine what is going on out in the world. Like, what is the world listening? What do they listen to in Italy? Is it still operas and all that stuff?
I think the rap scene out here is pretty big, but I haven't grown to like it yet. So
I saw that. Of course, you're out there in the countryside, so you're probably not hearing it as much as you would probably in more of the metropolises. But that's what I hear. Italy is really growing in the rap game.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan so far. So somebody's gonna have to put me on or something.
Do you have a guilty pleasure music? Like, is there one
pleasure?
Like one you listen to, and it's like, if you're like at the gym, you're listening, like, man, if someone heard me listen to this,
I'll play. It's not. I don't know if it's called guilty pleasure, but I listen to old soul music, and I'll work out to it. Okay. So some of the younger guys will probably tell you, like, if they come in the gym in the summertime and I'm in there and I'm on the ops, and then you'll hear some Teddy Pendergrass or something playing a bunch of old man music, and everybody's hating it, but it's a thing that I enjoy. So I'll have that playing for sure.
That's the real music. That's the real music from the soul, human emotion, human feelings. Nobody sings about that these days.
Some keep you balanced out. Perfect pregame music.
Hey, Skylar, are you driving over there in Italy? Are you riding a Vespa?
Not a Vespa, but I have a little Honda, a little decent car. The driving in Europe is a little different than America. You got to be a little more aggressive over here. Everybody has rules, but the rules are a little bent over here. So you got to stand your ground on the road. But I haven't had any issues.
That's good.
But I've been in some crazier places where there are no rules. There's some places where it's almost lawless, and you just kind of do what you want. So luckily, in those places, I had drivers. So I think the certain teams give you drivers when you're in a place that's known for crazy driving, because they already know you'll get into an accident.
Got to protect their investment.
Exactly.
How's your shoe game? I always ask the guys about the Jordans.
It's not as impressive as it was at State. I like to wear a lot of Kyries and LeBrons, and I'm starting to. I wore Kevin Durant's a lot in college, and then I fell off. So I'm starting to pick back up with him. So that's kind of my rotation of shoes I like to wear, and I'm pretty consistent with that. Switch up my colorway. So I might bring maybe 4 or 5 pairs of shoes over. So my collection is not as big as it used to be. But that's just for the fact that you ain't got so much room in your bag to bring stuff. So I keep it pretty simple.
Okay.
Got to carry all little man's shoes now. He's the one getting the big collection now.
Exactly. He took all my space, all my swag too.
What would you say is your favorite SDSU memory, on or off the court? One of each, or just maybe one that you have out. I know it's thinking back now. Huh?
I don't know. I gotta think about it. It might be that the game against New Mexico, because that was like almost like it felt like almost the peak of the season. Everything, just having the great year that we had and having it almost spoiled by the bad guys, and we come back to win it all, and after that we had like some crazy party that night, and I remember it being daylight saving time, and the time jumped up an hour, so we partying until like 3-something. I think like the police came, but they like let us keep partying. Like it was just a perfect day for a basketball player. So all around, that was one of those moments. I'm like, man, like this is fun. Like I'm a remember this forever. So yeah, that was one of the greatest moments we had.
Sky's as a sophomore. Is it like this every year? It's like this every year.
It was funny because we used to have anytime we would have a friend come visit from home, and they would see this crazy experience, this lifestyle we're living. They would ask questions like that, and it just makes you appreciate the moment, the times that we were living in. So it's a lot of good memories.
Any other questions, guys, before we let Sky get on with his evening, because it is evening out there?
You're really a testament to hard work and perseverance. I mean, because when you came to state, like that free throw shot, dude, that was rough, man. Like you were, I mean, you did not shoot a very good percentage, but now, I mean, I've seen you at Swish League, back in the summers, and man, you're good. You've expanded your range from the outside. You hit free throws. I mean, you're just really a testament to hard work paying off. And it's just kudos to you for all the hard work that you put into your game to make yourself better.
Thank you. Yeah, I started off pretty raw with my game, and when I switched hands, it was almost right before I went pro. It was my senior year, so I had to start from scratch. And I worked out a lot with my trainer to this day, Brian, and we're at it every summer. Trying to get right to this day, still working on it. So I've kind of had an uphill battle, in terms of my growth, but that's only pushed me to keep working hard. So yeah, just falling in love with the process.
Hey, why did you pick zero as your number?
I picked it. It was my number in high school. Well, actually, the story behind that, my favorite number is 6. I got the 6 chain. I've been wearing 6 since like elementary, and then in high school, the rules there where you can't wear 6. So my first year, I was 20 because I was just a freshman and had to pick whatever number, and then after that, Gilbert Arenas made 0 really cool around that time. So I was okay. I'm a roll with 0. I'm gonna make 0 look cool, and I just stuck with it through. I wanted to switch 6 in college, but you can't wear it in college either. I think they just changed that rule this year. I know Bronny James is number 6, so it was like the first year since. So it was one of those things where I always want to be different, and 0 is kind of something that sticks out. No other number sticks with me, so I just stuck with 0 until I went pro and went right back to 6.
Why did they do that? Was that because of the reffing, like to call fouls and stuff? Okay.
Yeah, I think the number system was confusing, which to me didn't make sense because it could have just took a couple meetings to fix that. Because whatever they did, they fixed it today, so it could have been done 10, 15 years ago. So yeah, you missed out on some good years wearing number 6 because of that.
Was that Agent Zero? Is that what they called the
Zero.
Agent Zero?
I remember he had some cool commercial. He was killing at that time. I'm like, okay, I think I could make number 0 look cool if he's doing it. So
Ah, man, I wish you played in this era, man. We could use you on the court for sure this season.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We could absolutely use the Skylar Smith on the court this season.
Yeah.
And all the creative NIL commercials we could have made with you, all sorts of things.
Man, that's why I wish I was really playing. I could make a few extra dollars. But I'm glad those guys had an opportunity now. I think that's really cool.
Well, Skylar, we appreciate your time, man. This was a treat. I hope all Aztec Nation gets to hear or watch this and get familiar with what you're doing overseas in Italy and all your travels. And man, it was really exciting to see your game grow and obviously to hear about you grow, your family, and we'll make sure to keep up with your family we see at Viejas every time, and just all Aztec love, man. We really appreciate this.
Appreciate you guys having me on here. It was really fun.
All right. Let's do this again, man. Is it true you're Latino descent as well, right?
Yeah, I'm Panamanian. Yeah, that's
Panamanian.
That's where the Rodrigo comes from.
Yes, sir. Hablas español, no?
Poco.
Yeah, I'm a no sabo. So yeah, I get it. I was gonna say we have to bring you on the Hijos podcast. We got a Spanish language podcast too. So I'm gonna need we'll have a translate.
I'm about to say I need my translator for that.
He's got to get his TikTok situated there, right? Yeah, your TikTok situated first.
yeah, that too. Yeah, try to get that popping.
Right.
All right, Sky. You enjoy the rest of your evening, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
See ya.
Thanks, Sky. Good luck to you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time, man. Good luck with the rest of the season and enjoy the time over there with the little one.
No problem. Appreciate you guys.
Will we see you this summer? Are you gonna be back in San Diego?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego every summer. Every summer I'll be in the gym.
I'll be at Swish. I'll see you there definitely.
I'll be around for sure. All right, you guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
God bless.
Have a good night. All right. We'll do.